Hi, it's Luke Negron, the young wolf of politics. Welcome to the Wolf Pack with Red Liberty Media. We had set up a beautiful studio for me to use on a weekly basis with several different backdrops, and yet here I am traveling and shooting episode number 1 in a hotel room with my phone propped up on a box. But hey, that's how life goes, we'll roll with it. Since this is the first episode of the Wolf Pack with your host, the Young Wolf, let's go through a few housekeeping items right away. Right down here, we have an important indicator, and it's something that I personally care about a lot and that I know Red Liberty Media cares about deeply. This is something that's going to tell you whether or not what you are hearing is opinion-based journalism or strict news reporting. This is something that I think many mainstream networks could really benefit from using on a regular basis. In all too many modern cases, we don't get to see whether or not what we're hearing is a spun opinion based on someone's individual and personally held beliefs, or a just the facts reporting of what happened, who was there, when it happened, etc. There's nothing wrong with opinion-based journalism, nothing wrong with talk radio, daytime talk TV, or nightly talk television. However, all too many times we see that individuals who consume this are led to believe that the opinions they're being given are fact-based, and that's not necessarily true. We here at Red Liberty Media believe that you should know exactly what you're getting. So with that said, when you see the green O right down there in the screen, you'll know that I'm sharing with you some reason and logic and opinion about how I think through things and how I think it might be helpful for you to think through things. This isn't going to be me trying to mislead you, but it's going to be more of my opinion, which I base on facts, but it's going to have some of my take and my worldview weaved into it. On the flip side, when you see the NR in red on the lower corner of the screen, that is going to be strict news reporting, fact-based, who, what, when, and where reporting for you to consume, with citations provided, often in pop-ups on the screen or in the description in the video down below. With that said, let's get into today's topic. Chris and Andrew Cuomo. Chris Cuomo was recently fired from CNN, and if you're like me, you've noticed that the stories around him being fired are a bit confusing, ambiguous, and somewhat empty. It seems like there's not really a reason for him to have been fired. If you're like me, you've seen a lot of headlines similar to this. These headlines seem quite unthreatening, and they lack detail. Why was he fired for trying to help his brother work through a legal case? That doesn't exactly seem like a crime or even something unprofessional. What actually happened, though, was quite unprofessional. And here are some of the details that I want to present to you about why Chris Cuomo was fired in connection to his brother Andrew Cuomo's sexual scandal allegations. You see, Chris Cuomo didn't just stand by his brother amid a tumultuous time in his life of unsubstantiated allegations. He didn't just try to help his brother through a legal battle that was coming down the pike. No, what he actually did was much worse. It was darker and seemingly more sinister. What he did was he tried to use his influence, resources, and power through CNN and through his position of authority to undercut and delegitimize the claimed victims of his brother, Andrew Cuomo. Put simply, he tried to dig up dirt on these women so that they would not be believed when they came forward with their stories about how they had allegedly been abused at the hands of his brother. What actually happened was something called victim shaming or victim blaming. That's what it appears to have been, where these individuals who allegedly had terrible things happen to them at the hands of his brother, Andrew Cuomo, were being undercut and delegitimized so that their stories of victimhood would not be believed. It wasn't looking for evidence about the actual crimes. It wasn't looking for the truth of the whole situation. It was looking for a way to smear somebody so that they wouldn't be believed. And if you dig on it, you can find several articles, like this one, that have quotes and citations about exactly what happened. Happening and developing around the same time, Chris Cuomo's former producer is being charged for alleged crimes that involve sexualizing a 9-year-old for BDSM sex rings. So those are the facts. What's your final verdict on the working culture of CNN, Chris and Andrew Cuomo, their producers, and everything else that feeds into that seemingly nasty situation? Whether or not any of these scandals were directly tied to one another, we don't know yet. And frankly, it doesn't matter all that much. The fact would be that if any or all of these are true allegations, then the working culture of CNN seems to have been welcoming and attracting some really messed up, dark, and abusive people. I'll leave you with something my grandpa always used to say: show me who your friends are, and I'll show you who you are.